Welcome everybody to another MB Autohaus tutorial. Once again, this is like our, I think, 8th episode. So on this tutorial, we will be going over what is called a pilot bushing or transmission connector. This is only on 5 speeds. How do you know if you have a 5-speed or a 7-speed? Those are your two options. Basically, you could go through your shifter, the floor shifter. There's plus and minuses. If when you're going up the gears and it goes from fifth to drive, then you have a 5-speed. If it goes from 6 to drive, you have a 7-speed. So this is only for your 5 speeds, or known as your 7226. Here are some of the tools you will be needing: a 8mm socket to remove all the panels, the undercarriage panels, 90-degree pick, or something to release the connector itself, 1/4-inch extension, 7mm 1/4-inch socket, 1/4-inch ratchet, funnel. The parts you will be needing is 1 or 2 quarts, your new pilot bushing or connector. I put it here as optional, your transmission dipstick. If you don't have one of these, you could buy these on eBay or Amazon. They're basically universal. Mercedes uses the same transmission dipstick. I put optional just because you don't really need it. A good way of going about doing it is you can put in, usually if you're changing this and fluid comes out, you lose anywhere from about half a quart to a whole quart itself. And if you do run into problems, I just usually, if you don't want to buy the dipstick, I recommend just adding half a quart till it stops slipping, because that's what usually happens when you don't have enough fluid in there. So one of the first things you have to do is remove any underpaneling from the vehicle. They're held together with these 8mm bolts. You could just remove the ones that are in the rear towards the transmission. So here is your pilot bushing or transmission connector. Sometimes there's a metal heat shield cover on there. It uses a 30 Torx that holds it in place on the bottom. So now I grab my 90-degree pick or anything that has a hook like that, and I use it to break the connector loose. As you can see, that tab there has to go downwards. As it does, it removes the transmission connector out of the way. Once you remove that out, you'll see that some of the fluid is going to come out. I believe this one was drained already. You can either catch it if you're going to reuse it, or like I said, it uses anywhere from about 1.5 quarts in there. So now I use my 1/4-inch 7mm with extension and 1/4-inch ratchet. Right in the middle there is a 7mm bolt. You're gonna have to loosen it, and it's not gonna go all the way out. What you do is you have to pry your pilot bushing out. So now once you have loosened it, you can wiggle it out until it has come all the way out. Again, fluid's going to come out. You can grab it. If you're going to reuse it, I suggest you just get new fluid. Mercedes-Benz recommended transmission fluid only. As you can see here, this pilot bushing has 2 O-rings. There's one missing. A lot of times the O-rings stay in place. So what I do is I grab my pick and I take them out prior to putting the new one in. You might also want to clean out the area if you have dirt or anything like that might not let you put the new one back in place. Just take a look inside there, see what it looks like. Everything lines up. Alright, so here is our new pilot bushing transmission connector. You can see that little bolt doesn't go anywhere, does not come all the way out, does not go all the way in. What I do here is you want to grab some type of lubricant. This is sunroof lube, anything like that, silicone spray. Put a light amount on there. It makes it a lot easier going back in. So now I'm going to put the pilot bushing back in. There's a certain way you put this in. You want to do is grab the tab the way it let the connector out. You see it has to slide all the way down till it can't go no more. At that point, you're going to push it in, and it's going to be on that little bit of an angle. You keep pushing in until it snaps into place. If you don't push that in all the way and you start driving the bolt in, it could break. So make sure it's all the way in there. Take a look at the old one before you take it out. See how far it goes in. So as you see here, this turns, and that's what's going to lock the connector in place. So now I'm going to start bolting back in the pilot bushing. You're going to want to make sure that it has grabbed, and then that lets you know that it has gone in all the way. And then I'm going to tighten it with my 1/4 inch ratchet. You're going to want to make this snug. Don't over tighten this. Just tight enough, don't go crazy on it. It could crack if you go too much on it. So now at this point, this is tight. I'm going to put my connector back in, and if it fits in the way it should, I will be able to lock it back into place. If it does not, then you did something wrong. It's probably not in the way it's supposed to be. So I pushed it in as far as I could, and then at this point, that tab, I push it up, and it's going to drive the connector in as that did. So now we are going to set the fluid level. Go towards the rear of the motor on the transmission side and look for one of these covers. If some have this red locking tab, some don't. If it does, you have to break the head of the tab off and then push the rest of the locking tab all the way through. As you can see here, I do it with the pick, and it's still a little bit left in there. Doesn't let the cover come all the way out. So then you're gonna have to go all the way through till the rest of the locking pin has gone all the way down. This cover here has an O-ring to it. Make sure you grab that, or if it didn't, try to put one on there. So now again, this is going to take anywhere. See how much fluid you have lost. If it was leaking for a long time, you might have to add more than you have lost. Anywhere from 1 to 2 quarts. Usually, if you're just doing that and your fluid was fine before, you're good off with 1 quart. Again, if you notice slipping, add half another quart. Continue driving and see where it goes from there. That's it for this tutorial, guys. See us next week.